Okay, so let's get started. Want to warmly welcome all of you to Unit Masters. This is our 6 weeks blockchain literacy program. From zero to hero in 6 weeks, we would say. My name is Diep, co-founder at Unit. I have with me Zach, who's also a co-founder at Unit and Anchor. Anchor, let me make you a co-host too, so people can see you. And the agenda for today's session, it's 45 minutes. We try to keep on time, is for us to get to know each other. We will guide you through the main ingredients of this 6 weeks program, and you have a little bit of time to connect with each other. We've prepared a few breakout room sessions. And yeah, I hope after the session for today, you know what awaits you for the next 6 weeks, and also that you have all the IT sorted to be able to participate in the program so that after 6 weeks, you can file for your certificate of completion. So this is our 9th cohort of Unit Masters. We started this program a while ago because we realized if we think that token economy is something as disruptive as the internet was for our society, for our everyday lives about 25 years ago, then we actually need a world in which a lot of us can contribute and shape it. So it's not only that at the end everybody just consumes emails and whatever relates to the internet, but in our way of seeing the world, each of us should also be a contributor to that. So that's why we created Unit Masters to give as many people as possible the opportunity to understand the fundamentals of this new technology, of everything that relates to societal impact regarding the technology, and also, of course, for you to also understand where's my place to contribute in that. So it's quite an ambitious endeavor. We have a lot of people who undergo this program a few times until they feel that they've completed, and then they file for certification. So this is no problem at all. Today is our first encounter, and we will see each other. If you participate in all of our events, you would see each other another 18 times. So don't worry if you have more questions. We will get to answer them across the next 6 weeks. Um, what is Unit Masters? Unit Masters is a cohort-based program. So cohort-based means all who are here are part of one cohort, and the cohort lasts for 6 weeks. And during this time, we study together. We have our centralized offerings. They take place 3 times a week. They are all recorded, and you can watch them, rewatch them also if you don't make it to the live sessions. The program is global, and as such, it's very difficult to cater to all different time zone needs. So the way we communicate in Unit Masters is universal time coordinate, UTC. And UTC typically is same time as London or 1 hour difference to London time, so Greenwich time. And we actually do have a time shift within the 6 weeks. So we need to be a bit mindful. I think the team will communicate to you by email what is the time zone difference, because then your calendar invites might shift a little bit in week 2 or week 3 of our program. So just a word of caution on that. Zach, do you want to introduce yourself real quick, and then Ankur?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm here in New York, so it's early. So excited to see such a diverse group of people from all over the world. And I just want to welcome you all and tell you that 7 months ago, I was in your place, very new to kind of blockchain and Web3. I didn't even have a wallet. I had never bought crypto before. I didn't even really know what a blockchain was. And Unit Masters is really an incredible program. And I speak from my personal experience. One, having access to such incredible speakers, but also creating this community that we see and we have right here today. And I'm 100% positive that a lot of new friendships will be created. And over the year, you'll be traveling and actually running into each other, like I did last week with Sam, who's also on the Unit team. And I just want to say that I'm a filmmaker and a writer. And I had the misconception when I came to Unit Masters and kind of got introduced to blockchain, that blockchain was, and this Web3 world was just for programmers or coders. And I've realized that there's actually a place for everyone, whether you're a community builder or an editor or a graphic designer or a coder within the Web3 world. And it really is going to take all of us. And it really is a global endeavor that we're doing. So I just want to welcome you and just let you know that we're always here if you have questions. We have an amazing team here at Unit, very active, and we invite you not just to be kind of passive participants, but to really be active and to help each other, which includes sharing information. I'm sure that there are some of you right here in this course that have probably been in this space for 4, 5, maybe even 10 years, and also have an incredible amount of knowledge to bring to the rest of us. So please feel empowered that this group belongs to all of us, and that together we're going to go on this journey and learn and launch new projects. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you.
Then maybe Anchor.
Yeah, thanks, Zachary. Thanks, Yip. Hi, everyone. This is Ankur. I'm from India. So similar to what Zach mentioned, relatively new to the blockchain Web3 space, about a little over a year old. Started off as a speculative investor. Invested literally everything that I heard on YouTube, and I was like investing in, and I was like in 40, 45 coins by the end of it. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, So that's when I stumbled upon Unit. Yeah, did the Unit Masters course twice, and that's where my journey began. Really liked the mindset behind Unit, and like Zach and Yip mentioned, a truly global community, right? So decided to stay back and still learning. I've gone through the Unit Masters 3 times, and every time there's something new to learn. And excited to be here. Happy to answer any questions. Learn together with everyone, and welcome to the cohort.
Cool, thanks. I wanted to give the word also to Nanda, for example, who was a recent graduate of Unit Masters. Nanda, may you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I wasn't expecting to speak, but hi, I'm Nanda Chiara. I'm an artist, and I have been sort of working on my NFTs for the last year. And then I came across Unit, and the way I came across Unit was they had this amazing conference they set up in Canada, a World Conference in Canada and World Conference in Munich last year. And I was so inspired by the speakers. I was so inspired by Yip sort of organizing and coordinating the whole thing. And I think from there, I just sort of signed up on the course and absolutely loved it. It's been an amazing experience. I've made so many friends, but I've also made so many mentors from the industry. The course is quite wonderful and can be a little challenging if you can't keep up, but you can always revisit the recordings and so on. But like Ankur said, everything is changing. Though I've done the course, I think between the time I finished the course and today, the Web3 space has gone up like much faster than I expected. So I would recommend everyone to sort of join the course and do it again if you can. It's really good fun. Thank you. Thanks, Yip.
Thank you so much. So you already mentioned unit conferences. So actually, I wanted to just briefly speak about what is unit, so you kind of know also what is this organization or organism behind the unit masters. So a unit, we're a global collective of change makers everywhere in the world. You see here Zach in New York, we have Anchor in India, we have a team in Toronto, in US. Myself, I'm typically based in Munich. And we come together to build something we call the token economy. And we built a unit. We built the infrastructure for that. So we in ourselves, Unit Network is a blockchain project. We're built in the Polkadot ecosystem. So we use Substrate framework to build our currently standalone blockchain that will at some point in time integrate with the Polkadot ecosystem. What is Polkadot, you may ask? And this is what we're going to speak about over the next weeks. Polkadot is one of the blockchains on the market. We call them a layer 0 solution, which means it builds basic infrastructure for blockchains to communicate to each other. The way we look at the blockchain industry is there was Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first peer-to-peer electronic cash transfer system that worked in a decentralized way. And then there was Ethereum. Ethereum was the first time really smart contracts worked out, and it was a decentralized world computer, if you were to say so. And then we have Polkadot. Polkadot sprang out of the same group of people that also contributed to developing Ethereum. And Polkadot is, when you think about it in very simple terms, maybe one of the first internet of blockchains. And now we are getting to a point where we have a lot of different blockchain ecosystems, and you will hear them across the course. And maybe some of you have already bought into some of their tokens. They're like Avalanche and Solana and Cardano and I don't know, Binance Smart Chain. There's so many of them coming up, and they're all competing to become one of the larger blockchains ecosystems in the world. When we look at the market in general, when you look at the largest ventures by market cap, typically they are currently tech companies. Right? You have the Amazons, the Facebooks, the Googles, or the Metas of the world, and we would assume that within the next 10 years, also the leading companies by market capitalization in the world will be ventures that bring technology or that provide technological solutions to the users. And at Unit, what we realized was, wow, there's a big problem in the market, which is there's so many thousand tokens coming out and listed on different websites. How do we know which token really has intrinsic value? And how can we figure out what really makes a token a good token? How can token communities signal to the markets that they are very serious about their project and that they are basically really interested in providing services and goods that help them and their circles, but also that are giving back value to society and giving back value to those who basically help them to build that project. And so what we do at Unit is we provide tooling and the network for communities to build value and to signal that their value is there and to take out a little bit of this fuzziness and uncertainty in the market that you face wherever you go at this very moment. And we think that is needed. Transparency about the value of a token is needed so that we can really have millions of tokens rather than just the 10, 15,000 tokens that we have today. So we are working towards building a world of token economy in which token is something more fundamental than it is today when you look at the different coin market caps. And you're all welcome to explore with us what are these ways to make token economy work. And the way the course is structured is in the first week, maybe Zach, if you're at the computer, could you share our website? And then we can look at the 6 different topics. The first week is all about decentralization and Internet of Value. And our speakers from the first week, they would speak about how they see the evolution of the Internet. And then the second week, we speak about the blockchain ecosystem. And the blockchain ecosystem is when you think about getting into a bird's perspective. What you would see is you go into the bird's perspective and then you look at the blockchain, and there's all these different blockchain ecosystems, and then not only the blockchains in itself, but you have a lot of support services. So when you think of you're going on a highway, then you have a highway, and then at the highway you have like a gas station, you have restaurants, you have places to pay the highway toll, and so on. So in order to get nowadays from A to B, you have a lot of different support services, and this is what we call the new economy or the blockchain ecosystem. So we'll learn about that. Where do you store your crypto or the keys to your crypto? What is custodial and non-custodial? For example, there's a little bit of terminology to be learned, vocabulary, and this is validation, for example. Who are the regulators? Who are the big investment entities? Like who's funding this new industry and this technology? And why we call Unit Masters Blockchain Literacy Program is because we believe that you need a little bit of base understanding of base vocabulary to then be able to really navigate through this ecosystem without being lost in one rabbit hole and so on, and watching YouTube videos and then be super inspired and hyped to buy something, and then you go and you buy something without having understood what actually are you buying into. This is why we go a little bit technical. In week 3, we speak about incentives alignment and coordination. This is where you will learn a few basic terms about how blockchains work and how actually people think that we should or could make decisions in a decentralized way in an environment in which we don't really have a central entity that takes the power to make decisions. How then can we actually get to a consensus? And this is what you hear when you hear proof of stake, proof of work, and so on, all this debate about is Bitcoin, like, is blockchain green or not, and so on and so forth. This is the 3rd week. So that will get a bit more technical. And then in the 4th week, we go out again. We go out and we go away from theory and we look into real projects. So the speakers in this week, typically they represent smaller projects that are currently built on the blockchain world or that provide solutions to blockchain. And then in week 5, this is a highlight for me personally. Every time we do that program, we've done it 8 times already. This is when we look at it more, okay, now we have this technology and now we kind of understand who are the stakeholders, we kind of understand who provides what, who makes a revenue in which way. Then we go back and we look at it, okay, how does the economy then look like? How can we bring sustainability into it if we care about it? What are ESG incentives at the moment in the market? What are cooperative models that might work or not work? How do I gain financial autonomy? What is self-sovereignty? And then in week 6, we speak about tokens and hopefully your own tokens, because hopefully by that time you have enough information and enough puzzle pieces to go and figure out how would you build your own token? How would that work if you were to have your own token project? How would you contribute to the token economy? How would your token generate value to those token holders, those who support your buildup of tokens? That's about it in our 6 weeks journey. It goes very, very fast. And as Nanda and others, Zachary already mentioned, or Ankur mentioned, you can do everything in one cohort, but you really don't have to. Don't pressure yourself. We are here and we run this program every 2 months. You can always come back and join the cohort and learn at your own pace. Everything is recorded. So this leads me to the next point, which is rules of engagement. Every time you're here, you're super welcome to show your face so we don't speak to an empty wall. The speakers typically very much appreciate that they see whom they are speaking to. Speakers are typically change makers in the industry who are very well known and very busy. And they just dedicate half an hour, 45 minutes of their time to share their firsthand insights. The crypto industry moves so fast. So within like a year is like a decade in the outside world. And so what we learned or realized is if you want to be top of your game, then it's good to speak to different people and learn firsthand insights, because every week there's new changes. We always invite people who are actually building in the ecosystem, and they are more than happy to answer any of your questions that you may have. So you always get like the most relevant and latest insights from people in the space. So after each session, we ask you to fill a key takeaway survey, and that is needed because we want you to think about every time I spent half an hour of my life in joining something, what can I get out of, like, what did I learn? about myself, about the topic, about the speaker, whatever it is. But we want you to consciously reflect about how did I spend my time and what did I get out of it for myself, even if it was just only something such simple as, oh, I didn't learn anything new because everything the speaker spoke about I already knew. That's fine too, but that's also an insight. And in Unit Masters, we value insights. Yeah, that about the key takeaway service. After 6 weeks, you have the opportunity to file for completion of, of the course. This is an extra and active step. And there we have a form. This will be open only in week 6. And then what it typically asks you is to provide the insights from each of the weeks. So what you need to do is when you go through the learning journey, take notes of the key takeaways from each week of our big 6 topics, so that in the end you can write your answer and just document them. It's like your own diary. That's why we also ask you to fill the key takeaway sessions after each survey, so that you have enough content to write this form and claim for your certification. And at the end, you get the chance to also show what you learned in a very nice visual image, and yeah, you get your certificate. I think that's all we need to know for now before we go into the breakout rooms. The breakout rooms we have prepared for you. We have prepared about 15 breakout rooms, so be small groups. And what we do is we give you 8 minutes in your small groups and to reflect and contemplate on one question. And that question that we want you to share about in your breakout groups is, what brings me into flow, or when do I learn best? So you have the time to get into your own self and reflect on that while I'm setting up the breakout rooms for us. After the breakout rooms, we'll speak about the study groups. So let me open this. I named them Americas, Europe, Middle East, and so on and so forth, but I think this is not so relevant for us right now. So you will be automatically pushed into one of these breakout rooms that have a name. And so you can remember which name was your study group later if you want to reconnect with the participants. After that, they will close after 8 minutes. When I hit start, then you will be put into that breakout room. And please make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak in that 8 minutes. The question is, who are you? What brought you here? But also, most importantly, what really brings me into flow? When do I learn best? So far with our first kickoff was a little bit of a technical disaster. We hope you still had a little bit of time to connect with each other. We will have a lot more time over the next few weeks to connect with each other. In our live sessions, in the speaker sessions, typically we have a 20 to 35 minutes of discussion with our mentor, and then we try to always have 8 to 15 minutes in small breakout rooms, and then you can always connect with the other students. And apart from these opportunities to connect with our live sessions, we have decentralized sessions too that are led by volunteers. They're called the study groups. And I want to hand over to Zach to explain to us what are study groups and how they work and how you can join one.
Yeah, thank you, Yip. And I'd love to just give a kind of brief overview of my own learning experiences, having gone through, this is 6, 7, 8 to now 9th cohort. What I find that helped me best was doing a little bit of research, even just 30 minutes looking up some of the topics. If I wasn't familiar with them, I may not have ever heard of them before. I might not have known the difference between a centralized or decentralized exchange. And what I found was just doing even 30 minutes of just a little bit of my own research. And you'll notice that there's links that will guide you to what things are and how to get started. That really helped me before listening to one of the speakers. So that when they were talking, I wasn't having to look up things at the same time, but I was like, oh, I have an idea of what that person is talking about. And The other thing that really helped me was, like, for example, on Tuesdays, it's, you know, in the middle of the night when the session takes place. So I just don't even try to make it. I just wake up in the morning, grab a cup of tea, and then I watch the recording. And it just takes a lot of pressure off. If I'm busy in the morning, I'll watch it later that night. And then one of the, this is what Yip was talking about, but one of the best ways for me to learn and to stay engaged and to expand my knowledge was through the study groups. And it's really just a chance for you to connect with like-minded people that are in different countries, in different industries. You know, to give you an example, like in my study group, I've met science fiction writers from Venezuela. I've met horse breeders from Hungary. I've met, you know, coders from Germany. It's really diverse, artists from Slovakia. And it's great to have these conversations. And the study sessions for me serve as kind of twofold. One, if I have questions about something that I didn't understand, most likely somebody in my study group can explain it to me or point me in a direction where I can learn more. Two, I may be really interested about something. So I may have heard about NFTs and go, well, you know, I'm a photographer. You know, does anybody know any sites that work with photographers? And suddenly it's like, you know, I'm getting posts within my Telegram study group chat of like, oh, check out this site, check out this site. So we're really a great resource for each other. And then also there's these study assignments for each week. And that's also a great way to kind of discuss, like talking about the ecosystem, right? I may not know very much about DeFi, but somebody else has been in finance for 10 years and they can explain to me very easily, you know, that aspect of it, right? And those are really just self-taught groups. And I encourage, right now, I think there's, you know, 10 or 11. I'm going to share just screen real quick, and then I will share the links also. But we have, right now, these are the study groups that we have so far. So there's 11 study groups, and you can see, you know, mine, for example, is in New York. It's virtual. It's on Monday, 11 a.m. EST, 4 p.m. UTC. You know, our topics change weekly, but you can look and see, for example, Osvaldo, who was just in our breakout session, is in Caracas. So Ricardo is also in Caracas, and he's leading a study group on Sunday. So you might say, oh, okay, let me reach out to him on Telegram at Richo3, right? Or you'll see, for example, I saw there are a lot of people from Nigeria. There's a couple different groups there. And what I would also encourage you, and I'll share this now, is to go ahead and just create your own study group. You know, like right now we're needing more study groups. You may want to lead one in a particular language. You might want to say, hey, you know what? I want to do a French study group. And there may be other people out there that want to do the study group in French. I know right now we have, I think Marco's leading one in Portuguese. Or there may not be a time zone. Maybe you're in Bali and you're like, you know, I want a morning Bali group. So just start it yourself. And there's enough members that you will naturally attract people that are looking for sessions. You may want to do an in-person session, and you can let them know where that takes place. So I would encourage you, and I'm going to share this, to go ahead and create a study group. The other ones also are filling up fast because there's so many members. And then once you do, it's very easy to go ahead and just create a flyer with Canvas. So you'll see this one is Marco, he's doing it in Portuguese, and then he can share that flyer with the rest of the group. And we can all just start kind of working together and helping. I know some people have joined multiple study groups. So it's really just up to whatever helps you best learn. And then I wanted to go back and just point out one really simple thing that helps me keep on track. And that's that you'll notice that, like, in this first step, there's really, you can go all the way down through it, but here I can click on complete so that I know, okay, first steps, right? Maybe I had to check my email notifications, make sure I'm getting everything. I did that. I go on to the next one. Oh, join the Unit Masters Telegram chat. Awesome, right? Did I do that? Yes, I did. It's a great way to keep in touch with new information and to keep in touch with each other. And then you can go down next one, fill the Unit Master Persistent profile, right? So there's the links there. And now we get to find out like where you're from, what industry you work in, and then you can see also who are your fellow participants. And then if I completed that, which I did, I keep going, and you get the point, right? So basically you can just work your way all the way through it and know what you've done, what you haven't done, what you might want to catch up on later. As always, the recordings will be right here on the left. And after you watch the recording, we encourage you to just go ahead and fill out the takeaway survey. There's going to be some other resources, but this is basically your main place. And right up here is your products page when you sign in. So you can see, for example, I've done cohort 6, 7, 8, and now I'm starting on 9. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to either ask, me or Anchor or Yip, or to ask also your fellow participants, right? Like Nanda has been through it a few times, and I'm sure she can answer any question as well as me. So I think that's pretty it. Yip, was there other stuff to go through? Is everyone signed up in the Telegram group?
Yeah.
And I'm going to just post right here.
Amazing. And
To
then
sign up.
we just, oh yeah.
I'm
Please
just posting those links right here. If you're looking for a group, a study group, or if you want to create your own study group.
Perfect. All these links are also posted in our online platform that you just saw. We also have a bug discovery form. I'm just posting it right now. So we improve from cohort to cohort. So now you are participants of cohort 9, and you will also be the ones who contribute to improving the cohort for the next generation of token economy pioneers. We have a lot of groups all across the globe. So after graduation or during graduation, you're also entering into the global community of token economy enthusiasts, and you can have in real life meetups and so on and so forth. There's almost every week somewhere some event happening, and if it's not there in your location yet, you're super free and welcome to host your meetups and make new friends and travel the world and always have a home to stay somewhere. So that's the idea of unit masters, and I don't think we overpromise because we've done it for a year and we've seen that really happening. So the community is growing, and it's growing with you and with your contributions. And for this cohort, we're not there yet, but we're starting to translate also the unit masters content into different languages with the help of graduates of previous cohorts. So they are accessible in Spanish, in Portuguese, in French. For African continent, for example, we heard the feedback that English is maybe not the best. So not the best access to help people understand if they're in the French-speaking part of Africa. So people are teaming up and then providing the services needed to make that accessible to others. So thank you very much, everyone. When we have the speaker sessions, please be mindful that the speakers also are just doing the best they can. They are not professors. So they are not there to teach you something, but they are there to share their insights and their perspectives on a certain way of looking at the market. They are practitioners in the field. And when you ask questions, typically what is helpful is to ask open questions. What makes you think this way? Can you please explain again how you got to conclusion A, B, C? So we try to see the world through the speaker's eyes rather than ask them for what's the hottest deal or whatever. Typically, these are questions speakers don't answer to you. So, questions of when token, blah, 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 that is not so helpful to foster understanding. I think we are at the end of our session now. And what we can do is just take 3 breaths together and center and enjoy that we're starting our Unit Master 6 weeks journey today. Thank you all for being part of this, and let's stay connected on Telegram.
Wonderful. Thank you, Yip. Thank you, everyone, for coming and being part of it.
Thank you all. Thanks, Yip.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.